Do not lose hope whatsoever, because the patience that you've had so far is about to be rewarded. And this in itself, you need to understand that it's going to be quite evident in between the 11th and the 27th of March 2022. You are most certainly going to be able to see a rather big step in your life, and this big step in your life is going to be the direct result of things that you have been working for, things that you wanted to manifest, things that you wanted to happen. But also, on another hand, I have to stress that so far things have been really slow, and that just haven't been happening quick enough. They just haven't been happening fast enough. So now this is going to be such an important essence, spiritual essence, that you really need at this moment in your life. Because at the same time, over the last 2 days this month, the 30th and the 31st of March are going to be an absolute game changer when it comes to you, when it comes to your life, and when it comes to an opportunity that is about to present itself to you. It is so sacred what you're going to be going throughout the actual month of March. And also, one specific person is going to play such a huge, enormous role in your life. This is the right person to be around. This is the right person to listen to. This is the right person to feel inspired by. Because, let me tell you something, this life that we live, it's not meant to be easy. Of course, we know that, but on another hand, there are certain things and certain aspects that can kind of like really make us think over the time. But on another hand, it's just all about the actual real people in our lives. And certain people, they're just like kind of passing by, but every single person is meant to be there. But you just need to establish who this person is, because this person is going to play a really big role. Because every now and then, this person make themselves known, and we just get so much out of them because it's the right person who is playing a very specific role on our spiritual journey. I'm not saying that you have to look at someone and just follow what they do. No, baby, no. You will understand that there is something that you will want to do in those lines that they did, for example, and they will inspire you. They will inspire every single fiber of your being at exactly the right time of your life. It's not only about being inspired, but it's about having the energy boosted. It's about having your vibration, boosted at the same time. And these aspects are super important when it comes to us dealing with problems, but also having the necessary strength to carry on, especially if we stumble upon the problems and we don't know what to do, and we just kind of like, oh my God, it just brings us down a little bit. And then you see that person, that wonderful person who is about to inspire you like there is no tomorrow. There is something so important that you're going to get out of it. There is something so important that you're going to gain out of it. It's just to do with your spiritual journey, but understanding so much on much a higher level. I want to stress to you that March is going to be way more significant than you can possibly imagine, because on another hand, you have got the 27th of March, which is also going to be a big mama, because then and there you are going to make a really important decision, and that decision is going to require an adjustment in your life. But before you do that adjustment, you're just going to need to do different things in a slightly different ways, and also you're going to need to come up with a plan how to make this adjustment. And the plan is also going to consist of you making the certain journey, the specific journey that you're going to feel like, oh, I'm not too sure, I don't think it's the right time, and things like that. No, baby, no. You just have to listen to yourself, follow your intuition, and now it's more important than ever. You are, my gorgeous Leonie, going to have such a huge and enormous step this month. And it may not even seem as obvious, but it's all about you just really finding yourself on a new path, and finally are able to see the direct results, of things that you wanted to happen, but also the direct results of things that you worked for. Very important indeed. My name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and this is your monthly horoscope tarot card reading, and it's for you, my gorgeous Leo, and it's for March 2022. So this monthly horoscope tarot card focus is for you, my gorgeous Leone, and it's for March 2022. And when it comes to the actual number, you have got the number 78. This is a very powerful when it comes to the actual numerology, because yet again, very strong sign, very strong indication, very powerful and very unique indication that you are about to rediscover yourself. You are about to rediscover this essence within yourself, that it's also at the same time going to give you the confidence to do things in your own way, to do things that make sense to you, to only kind of like really pay attention to things that you want to pay attention to, not what someone else wants to pay attention to. This is really been enough of this. So now this is all about you having the power to kind of like have a confidence, but also understand that there is a lot of gonna be like a lot of things, like, you know, about stepping into the unknown. This is where your power comes through in a form of confidence, when you just basically really just you just feel things inside. You just know when something is right for you, and you just know when something is wrong for you. So these are the feelings that I'm talking about. These are the intuitions that I want you to pay attention to. Number 78 in numerology means that your hard work is about to be pretty much so paid off, really. You know, you're going to be able to see like the progress when it comes to your hard work. But at the same time, it's about the power of your own manifestation then and there. So it's not only about, oh yeah, things that I've been working for, la la la. No, baby, no. It also means that the power of manifestation is going to be very strong throughout the March. You are going to have the second time this year, which is going to be August 2022, when the power of manifestation is going to be really enhanced, purely because this is your time. So this is when your energy is anyway vibrating in a very powerful and unique way. And what does that mean? That when your power of manifestation is like, oh my God, ready to kind of move the mountains, baby, slowly but surely, you know, by the same time, you don't want this to work against you. So don't be negative. Don't think in a negative way, because now you're also like, oh my Lord, you have this power to actually manifest this like kind of negativity in your life. And this is something that you don't want to do. So you need to understand that when it comes to the power of manifestation, it can go both ways. So don't waste your energy. Oh my God, don't waste your energy on negativity. Listen, it's so important. Don't waste your energy on negativity. There is only so much negativity that we can actually take as a humans, you know. So it's important to establish where the negative energy could be coming from. Maybe you're watching something, maybe you're listening something, maybe you're listening to something that you're not even aware of, that is just bringing you down. Maybe you're reading something, maybe you're like reading something on daily or weekly basis, and you know, you're reading about like maybe, I don't know, makeup, like lipstick and things, and then on the left hand side it can be downer, on the right hand side is a downer, on top of that article is a downer, or the bottom of that article is a bloody downer. There is only so much downer that we can take. And I'm telling you this, that you can be reading about the makeup, like for example, and then subconsciously we are like a spiritual sponges. We just absorb on what's on the left, what's on the right, what's on top, what's at the bottom. So you just need to establish like every single part of your life, like where this negative energy could be coming into your life, because it has got that vile power to take things over, because it's very often connected to people that are really negative, to people that are very low in vibration. So they can kind of manipulate other people with this kind of like a horrible energy, because it's very thick and their opinion seems to be like very strong and very kind of weird and very unusual, but they take over because of that negativity. At the same time, it's their own kind of weird power. So we very often respond to this type of people like the way they want to respond us to, in the way they want to respond us, and this steals our energy. Because when we go back home and we think about them, for example, then we just like kind of like oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. So this is the like kind of like a power that these people have. So it's also important to try to establish like maybe the certain people that you are seeing throughout March. You know, you need to kind of avoid people who are really negative. You need to kind of avoid people who make you feel negative, and you need to kind of avoid people who are like absolutely don't make sense to you whatsoever. This is so important because you preserve your energy, you protect your spirit, you protect your soul, and most importantly, you stay on top of your life when it comes to your manifestation, so you don't manifest something negative and you don't stop yourself and slow yourself down because you have been living through somebody else's fears. No, baby, no. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. How many years you will do this? How many years are we going to allow this? So this is why this is so important to come out of yourself, but at the same time to try to avoid people who have completely opposed opinions to you. My God, because they're going to be 3 instances when you are going to come across people who have a completely different opinions to you. And please, you just need to preserve your energy. Do not, I said this last month, do not waste your energy on people who just doesn't mean anything to you. Don't waste your energy on people who you don't even know. Don't waste your energy on people who have such a different opinions to you. There is so much of that going on like right now, but you are going to have 3 specific occasions. You know, the one is going to be in the first part of March, mid-March, and the third part of March, you know, where you're going to come across people who are going to kind of try to wind you up, you know, like with opposed opinions, like a completely different opinions to you. So this is something you need to pay attention to in order to preserve your own energy, okay? Because this also has an impact and influence on the way you think without even realizing this. So when it comes to like a big moment in your lives, you are even subconsciously like focusing on this negativity and downer, and you're not even like aware of the fact like when did you absorb this? How did you absorb this? So this is why it's so important to stay on top of things and to understand that negative thoughts can also very easily kind of manifest in real challenges if you go down that road. So this is specifically, I want you to kind of like pretty much so pay attention to the next stage of your life. Pay attention to the next step of your life, my gorgeous Leonis, because this is really important. Not that long ago you started something. Not that long ago you started something new. Not that long you started a new journey, new path, and it's only at the beginning stages. So now it's going to be the first time, you know, in a quite while where you are pretty much so going to see the quick change, and a very important aspect of your life. It's going to become available to you that hasn't been available before, but this is all going to come to you through your own success, and you will see that you've made the right decision, you know, because this decision is going to lead into a really, really big change later on. Number 78 means in numerology also, you know, you just have to, on one hand, your persistence is going to be rewarded, and it's going to be a bit of a tricky moment, you know, where you're going to think, should I do this or not? So at around the 19th and 20th of March, you are going to stumble upon like a bizarre little problem, and that problem is just going to make you kind of think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I shouldn't do that. But then again, you have to understand you must most certainly stick to your original plan, because if you don't, then you're just going to like kind of give your spirit away, you're going to give your soul away. I'm not saying that your soul is going to be gone forever, but I'm just saying that you are just like kind of allowing someone else to tamper with your own energy. So you need to also understand that the persistence is going to be pretty much so rewarded. This is very, very important, and it's to do with your own essence, it's to do with what you love doing, it's to do with your own capability, it's to do with what you're like pretty much so very unique about, it's to do with a very specific path of your life that makes you feel alive again, very specific part of your life that makes you feel excited, you know, again, very specific part of your life that also was pretty much so in a stationary mode. Don't get me wrong, it was stuck. Enough hasn't been happening, but now the things are going to start moving on, and you're also going to get a message from someone as well. On another hand, someone is going to actually send you a message, or they're going to tell you something, a very special person in your life, very unique person in your life, very sacred person in your your life, you know, someone who you look up to as well, and someone who means to you so much, someone who is rather unusual but really interesting at the same time. They will actually tell you something and you will know, oh my God, they will tell you something and they will really surprise you so nicely, so beautifully, because they will do something for you. I'm not saying, oh, someone needs to do something for you. No, baby, no. But this is going to mean to you so much, because what that person is going to do for you is going to be big. It's going to be more important. It's going to be absolutely enormous, because it is also going to make you have a breakthrough. And it's going to come with an element of surprise, because it's going to be much bigger and much better after that moment in time. So someone is pretty much so going to be playing an important role here. On another hand, my gorgeous Leonis, you know, this is the actual time of the hope, it's the time of faith, and also that in itself is going to be quite evident in between the 17th of March and the 31st of March. In between the 17th of March and the 31st of March, this is a very, very fertile stage in so many different ways, because it's about, this is all about this hope that is going to come in after all this. It's about the faith in inspiration, and this is going to pick you up so much, because you needed a bit of a pick up at the same time. It's to do with a very bright prospect coming into your life, but it's also going to point an element that you should be doing right now that you're not doing, and it's connected to your past, because it's pretty much so to do with a mixture of the past and present that makes you feel really good. And at the same time, what I like even more, it's going to be very interesting sign and omen that you are going to have in between the 17th of March and the 31st of March. And the sign and omen that you're going to have, it's going to pretty much so going to be very strong indication that there is a very powerful part of your life about a change in a form of the actual bright prospect. And at that moment in time, you're going to think, oh yeah, it's just this prospect, blah, blah, blah. But by the time when you come to the 31st of March, you will see so many other possibilities that you couldn't see before. And also, this is going to be playing an important role from you moving on with your life and feeling that success, feeling that energy. And this is what you needed. This is what you wanted. And the omen that you're going to have, it's going to come in the form of a bird. This bird you're either going to see outside somewhere, or it's going to come to your window ledge. Maybe it's just going to fly on your gorgeous hand. You know, maybe you're just kind of going to see it in your garden. Maybe you're going to go into the forest and you're going to see it in the forest. But you will know that there is something kind of unusual about this bird. Something it's kind of like you will be sharing the same dimensions. So it's going to be impossible for you not to notice this. So you will know in your own way that this is your sign, this is your message. That little bird, it's going to be a clear indication that there are very much so very important bright prospects coming into your life. But it's also a very strong indication to try to pay attention to what exactly was on your mind when you saw that bird, because the problem and negativity that was like kind of worrying you, maybe without even realizing, it's going to be resolved. This is going to be a very, very important sign for you indeed, because it's going to lead, you know, towards your own fulfillment, satisfaction, pleasure, and happiness. But it's also at the same time, you know, going to make you aware of like something so special to you, so important to you. You're going to feel really emotional, because you will know that, you know, there's a specific part of your life when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to people in your life who are so important to you. There is also something that you've kind of put on hold a little bit when it comes to that. And this in itself, it's really going to open your eyes, and it's going to make you feel so good, because you will know that this is going to be beneficial, not only like for your lack of finances and things like that, bright prospects, next steps of your life, but also when it comes to like a people who are so important to you, because you will be able to almost immediately kind of connect to this and realize that you will be kind of, you're going to be able to do something, some kind of a plan, you know, that you kind of like left on the side, you know, and you were waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right time. So this in itself, it's going to inspire you even more. On another hand, you know, what I also really like, my gorgeous Leonis, you know, very unusual situation. It's actually going to happen to you. Something really unusual at around the 10th of March as well. Like a very unusual situation is going to happen, like completely out of the blue. Something is going to happen completely out of the blue, and you are going to be surprised completely. And this is brilliant, you know. This is going to be really good, because in itself it's this situation that is going to happen out of the blue, but it's to do with a certain outcome that is just going to be like, what on earth, like, oh my lord. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. You know why? Because it's to do with the outcome that is going to be much better than what you possibly thought. So it's going to happen at around the 10th of March 2022, and then on the 27th of March 2022, you know, you are pretty much so going to realize that you are approaching the end of a very, very difficult and very annoying problem. But it's all going to start at around the 10th of March, when you're going to see, like, you know, like an unusual situation is going to take place. It's going to surprise you in the best possible way, because it's to do with a certain outcome. But it's going to be like big mama outcome, because it's going to be much kind of more than you expected. And this is all part of this wonderful month that I'm talking about, when it comes to things that you have been working really hard for, and finally things moving on in the right direction. So that in itself is going to put you on an advanced, and I really like this, because at the same time you are gonna already come up with a very important conclusion. You know, very, very important conclusion. What you need to remember is that you need to trust yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to trust your intuition, because if you don't do this, you're only going to slow your process. You're only going to slow yourself down. And the people who are so important to you, like a family members, they are going to be kind of pushing you towards a certain thing, and that is going to inspire you even more. This is about your practical knowledge. This is about the actual things that you know how to do. It's all about you taking, you know, things that you are here for on this earth on the whole next level. So this is going to be rather sacred stage of your life, but at the same time, the certain negotiation, it's going to become rather obvious. As soon as you start focusing on a certain negotiation, you're going to be thinking about a certain person who is going to be part of this negotiation, but don't think about them, how powerful they are, or how amazing they are, or how strange they are. Don't think about them. Just think about what you need to talk about, what you need to kind of discuss, and what you need to kind of negotiate about. This is another way to kind of, when our energy goes, because we just kind of think about the strong parts of that person when it comes to their spirituality and their aura. What you need to pay attention to is exactly what you're kind of talking about, because you are going to be talking about to someone who is like a very powerful, not necessarily in a negative way, but they provide with so much information that you just need to pretty much so stay on top of things by being focused, and to keep your concentration levels as high as possible by staying focused, you know, because it's gonna lead towards you realizing very, very interesting opportunity. But it's only the beginning. You're only gonna become aware of that interesting opportunity, and that is just going to plant a very kind of like a unusual and quirky spiritual seed into your mind, and without you even realizing, it's actually gonna start making its process already. You're going to find something rather challenging almost immediately, but you're going to be absolutely fine. At the same time, you know, you will know that you most certainly must never ever give up, and now is an absolutely perfect time to protect what you have created. You know, on one hand you need to be prepared, but on another hand you just need to understand to never ever give up whatsoever. This is so important, because, you know, at the same time, they are going to be pretty much so, there is a certain impulsive mistake that you've made not that long ago that is just really going to be worrying you for some reason. But then that certain mistake that you've made, like impulsive mistake that you made not that long ago, you know, it's life. Sometimes, you know, we have to kind of like make certain mistakes in life in order not to repeat these things again. But it's not all bad the negative, because we do kind of learn a certain lesson at a certain time of our lives when we are meant to learn this. So it's not about this so much, it's about the actual lesson that you've learned. You have most certainly learned your lesson, and you're going to become aware of it here, because it just caused you like a bit of a delay so far, and it made you a little bit fearful and apprehensive, you know. So this is something that you will not want to kind of like be part of again. So it's all about the actual lesson that you've learned so far, that it's also going to be playing an important role here, my gorgeous Leonis, indeed. It's all, you know, on another hand, it's just basically about you feeling very creative. You're going to feel very creative, and you are also, oh my God, you know, you need to understand that every single time when you feel really creative, and especially when it comes to the 1st of March, 11th of March, and the 21st of March, these 3 days are going to be completely different. But all these 3 days, you know, are going to be quite important, because you're going to have a certain situation that is going to come up, that is going to happen. As I said, you know, it's going to be 3 unusual things that are going to happen, take place, and they're going to be completely different. But all these 3 days and these 3 things that are going to happen are going to lead towards the same thing, towards the specific moment, towards the specific situation in your life that you have to pay attention to. And it's also going to make you feel really spontaneous. Now, you being spontaneous throughout the actual March, this is also the sign of a very, very powerful journey coming up, because you being spontaneous, this is like a very optimistic and very positive and very powerful energy. By the same time, it's just guiding you, it's becoming your guiding light, because it kind of like also, it's very beneficial when it comes to you having a control over a situation, through that having a strength and courage, you know, when you wouldn't normally have it. So this is going to give you an energy, determination every single time, and it's going to reflect on your confidence, and you will know that these are parts of your lives are going to be highlighted that are going to be bringing you accomplishments much sooner than you possibly can think. What I was saying before, that you've started not that long ago, this new aspect of your life, it's actually going to pretty much so be obvious how much success you're going to gain out of it in July 2022. July and August 2022 are going to be really important, but it's actually going to start in July 2022. So just remember, you have got a very important time span here. There's something, you know, that you started not that long ago, and also it's to do with the part of your life that was very much so stuck in the process. It's going to blow up sooner than you possibly think. And if you just like kind of start thinking about it, you can also kind of like see what's your calling, you know, what your calling is. It's to do with your spirit, it's to do with your journey. So throughout the March, you can also like kind of like even if you're behind a little bit, if you think that you didn't start anything, you also need to understand this magical and vibrant energy throughout the actual March. It's also going to provide you with like a lots of different opportunities, but they're going to come to you in a form of you feeling very spontaneous. So remember, the 1st of March, 11th of March, and the 21st of March, it's also about you feeling very spontaneous and responding to it. And then you know, there are going to be bursts of energy that you're going to have. And also the inspiration is just going to be around you. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. This is something that is like your guiding light that you need to pay attention to. Because even if you think that you didn't start anything new not that long ago, you know, these 3 days are also going to kind of reveal this inspiration through you feeling spontaneous and also wanting to explore certain aspects of your life. And sometimes these things are absolutely the best, because they help us with our own rebirth, with our own development, with us coming out of yourself in the world of darkness. You know, you need to be the one who's going to light and hold the candle for yourself and to see the path where you're going through, because you do not want to give your light to somebody else. You're the one who needs to do this, and you can only do this, and you can only stay sane in the world of when everything is, when up is down, down is up, you know. You can only stay sane by just staying true to yourself and just being right in the middle and keep going forward and keep going forward and keep going forward. You do not want to be part of like an upside down when you know that, you know, the secret is in that particular balance that you need to follow in this life. It's important. On another hand, you also like kind of like you know, it's gonna hit around the 5th of March. You know, you just basically kind of be a little bit careful, because there is careful, it's just you're gonna be aware of like some kind of revelation you're gonna have by this moment in time, and that revelation is going to change your mind, you know, at around the 5th of March. It's gonna start at around the 5th of March, but then again it's gonna carry to the rest of the month. It's about the revelation that you're gonna have, but that revelation is on another hand going to highlight an unwise choice. So you're going to become aware of that unwise choice, and then you're going to be like, you know what, it doesn't make sense, and this and that, and that's exactly what you should do. Question things that don't make sense to you. Don't do things like just because like lots of people do things, you know, like you just need to like kind of come up with your own plan and with things that make sense to you, because I can see there is a very important conversation that you're going to have after that moment in time about that unwise choice, and that conversation is going to confirm something so ludicrous to you, something so crazy to you, something so weird to you, and that in itself, it's really going to be one of the biggest and most important confirmations and conversations of your lifetime, because you're going to find out something else that you didn't know, and that is just going to extend like the world of weirdness out there. But then at the same time, this is not going to completely surprise you. On another hand, what else I need you to remember, it's like, you know, when it comes to the actual month of March, you also, you know, a lot is going to be going on, a lot is going to be happening. You're going to be surprised with yourself how much you're actually going to achieve. You will be doing like 10 things at the same time, and this is wonderful. Very interesting aspect is going to be highlighted by this in your life, to pay attention to something that was kind of left behind in the past. By the same time, you need to kind of pay attention to the actual balance in your life. Okay, this is very important, to pay attention to the actual balance in your life. So this is now jumping to the actual certain things that you should do in order to make yourself feeling much better. It's absolutely 1,000,000%, 1,000,000,000,000% is the reconnection and connection with the actual nature. We are an important and integral part of the actual nature. We cannot really live without the actual nature. Nature is a very kind of powerful aspect of our life. But very often we kind of forget this, and very often we kind of like don't even realize what an impact on us nature actually has. What you need to do, like, oh my god, 100% is to try to kind of visit the forest if you possibly can, because you know the March is a very sacred month when it comes to the actual nature. The nature is changing, the world is changing, everything is changing around us when it comes to the actual nature, and this in itself has got a very powerful impact on us and our body, our spirit, our mind, our soul as well. And in order to make the most of it, you know, so we are changing together with the nature, which is changing, and this is a very powerful vibration that we actually gain so much out of. So this is why I would ask you very kindly, if you could go to the forest, if you are lucky enough to live by the forest. I mean, I've got a nature reserve here, I've got a nature reserve behind me. I'm like, yeah, and here as well. No, I'm joking. No, but it's just like basically, you know, if you're lucky enough to live by the forest somewhere, then I would ask you if you can possibly kind of like go to rejuvenate yourself, because this is going to have an absolutely mind-blowing impact on you. Try to find like try to find a piece of ground in the forest, and try to like kind of find a piece of ground in the forest somewhere, or in the park if you possibly can, and try to find it where lots of people don't walk on it, you see, as such, if possible, because this is where the energy is very powerful and it's very pure, and this is exactly what you need and what you're going to find very beneficial. Once you find that piece of ground, just try to sit down and try to relax. First of all, try to deep breathing, try to absorb as much as positive energy around you, try to absorb as much as that magic as you possibly can. Trust me, it's going to be super beneficial for your balance. And then once you're kind of chilled out, then put your hands on the actual ground, and then still carry on a little bit with the deep breathing. Close your eyes And just relax, by the same time with the deep breathing, just try to establish the connection in between your hands and the ground and the soil and the earth, the Mother Nature. It's like, my Lord, this is a big mama. Mother Nature is a big mama. Try to establish that connection, try to relax, close your eyes, and at the same time, first of all, just try to feel the ground, try to feel the earth, and while you're having a deep breathing, by the same time, then after a little while, then try to imagine beautiful white silver light going around your left hand, for example. And first of all, you imagine that beautiful silver light going around your left hand, and you can feel it, you can feel connecting with the earth. And then just try to feel and imagine this in your mind, because at the same time you're creating this energy. Imagine this with your mind, and imagine the energy going around your first finger, second finger, slowly. This white and silver, powerful light energy is going around. You imagine this while it's touching the ground. This white silver light is going around your first finger, second, third, fourth, and fifth, very slowly. And then go back to the first finger again, and then imagine this while you're touching the ground, still relaxed. Imagine this energy going slowly into the ground, 5 or 6 inches, and then coming back into your finger, re-energizing you, and then go back again and back into that finger. And then imagine this with every single finger, and then imagine this with the actual right hand as well. And that way you rejuvenate yourself with this absolutely mind-blowing energy. And when you do it in March, then you just get so much out of it. I'm not saying that you wouldn't get normally, but now this is something that you're going to find super beneficial. And just relax for a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 1 minute. It really depends how you're going to feel. But then later on, when you go, something is just going to come to you out of the blue. Some kind of problem, it's going to be resolved, and it's not as such being resolved, but it's just going to you will be able to get that green light to go towards the certain path that you know that you should be going towards. But then at the same time, there is so much uncertainty. You will get a very important guiding message like after this moment in time, and you will see exactly what I mean. This is something I really want to suggest. Okay, so now, my gorgeous Leonis, I'm going to go on the first date that I would like to mention to you. But before that, look at this gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, mind-blowing purple Suji stone. This is again probably one of the most beautiful crystals that I've had so far, and it's very powerful. It makes me feel like very energetic. It's like has got a really unique energy to it, because as soon as I'm holding it like this, I can already feel it, and it has got the power to actually generate positivity and positive energy, and it's against negative emotions and situation, and it should relieve stress, establishes peace of mind, and it promotes emotional healing. But it's absolutely super important when it comes to staying on top of things by being strong, by being positive, by being courageous, even around those little bastards, who are just so draining when it comes to their energy. What I mentioned before, some people are so strong when it comes to negativity, and then just plant their own kind of way of thinking on us, and we don't want this. You need to be like a free spirit, so you need to really pretty much so be the one in charge of your own mind, of your own intuition. This is very important to mention. So when it comes to dealing with important things, and there are going to be loads of them throughout March and April and even May 2022, I would most certainly wear this. It's going to help you to come out of yourself. It's going to help you to express yourself. It's going to help you to communicate and to stay on top of things. And when you don't know what you say, it always helps you to have that little breakthrough and say something, but not just something, but say the best possible thing that you could actually say. So before you do anything important, this is absolutely a must, my gorgeous Leonis. Indeed, this comes with a gorgeous sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well. I have to say that, so thank you very much, my gorgeous Leonis. The 4th of March, it's oh my god, you see, there are certain things that are going to happen in between the 1st and the 3rd of March, and something is just going to change your mind. Something is going to point towards a certain person or a certain group of people, and you will already be prepared for something that you are going to hear. By the 4th of March, you're going to become aware of the actual very much so devilish person and devilish group of people, and this is something that you are of going to feel a little bit disgusted about, like you're going to kind of be aware of what certain kind of demonic people, entities they can be, but it's nothing to do with your life, but it's just looking at a bigger picture. It's going to open you up when you need to be open. This is important because at the same time, it's going to confirm something to you. And that confirmation, it's going to be the part of the path that, you will find yourself at, and you will want to find out more. You will want to kind of like read up more. You will want to kind of like throw yourself into this, not into with this devil, no baby, no, avoid the devil, but you will want to find out more what this is. So in fact, in between the 4th of March and the actual 11th of March, it's all about you kind of finding out about this even more. And that is just going to kind of make you to find out even more. And it's going to be brilliant for you because at the same time, you are going to have the actual idea. It is going to redirect you slightly, and you will know what to move away from, and you will know how important it is to follow your intuition, because it's all about the actual your own devotion. It is going to put you right on the path, when it comes to like you will know exactly after this moment in time, by the actual 11th of March, you will know exactly which part of your life you will put more energy towards, and it's going to change slightly, because this is the part of this readjustment that I'm talking about. Because if this didn't happen within the first few days, things wouldn't unfold like this. So this is important. By the 11th of March, you will know exactly what adjustment you need to make, but the adjustment is going to be in terms of the actual priorities. Okay, so you will know which part of your life you need to offer more services towards a specific goal. This is important, and you also need to understand to actually stay committed to the task at hand now more than ever. Okay, the second date, but before I go there, another thing I was going to recommend you is a green moss agate. Look at this baby, absolutely gorgeous. Also very, very gorgeous pendant, and it's perfect to wear in March and April and May. But also, it helps us to connect and reconnect with the nature. But on another hand, it's going to bring you calm, and it's going to bring you closer to nature. It helps you to concentrate, focus, and make the right decisions. And there are going to be lots of decisions that you're going to be making. So every single time before you make a certain decision, I would wear this, because it's just going to help you to come down into the actual reality, and don't kind of like over exaggerate over things and over certain things in life. And by doing this, you can just kind of like maybe pay attention to things that you shouldn't be paying attention to. So it helps you with your subconscious mind, by the same time to when it comes to the directions in your life and things like that. This gorgeous pendant comes also with a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel, so thank you very much. Okay, so now the second important date is going to be on the 17th of March. So this is all about, I like this, very important information when it comes to the actual your own success. I really like this, because it's about the actual more like first of all, it's going to be information, but that information is going to make you realize that a very annoying difficulty, very big difficulty that affected your own stability is slowly coming to an end. And this is what you wanted. You were praying for this. You were hoping for this to happen. I'm so happy for you, my gorgeous Leonie, because I know how much this was affecting you. So it's a very, very big victory on the 17th of March. But at the same time, it's just going to reflect on your own healing progress as well, because it's not only going to be a rather successful moment in time, but when it comes to materialistic life, like a financial security later on, this is going to be good, because you're finding yourself on an advanced stage here, which is going to bring you satisfaction and accomplishment, but it's also going to bring you the confirmation. And that in itself is just going to kind of, you're going to realize, oh my God, time to get to work, baby. And at that moment in time, there is going to be an excellent opportunity which is going to present itself. And pay attention to what this opportunity is on the 17th of March, 2022. It's brilliant, but it's also connected to the actual new area of study. And that new areas of study is going to be directly responsible for you really having such a clarity when it comes to the next step. It's bringing an important clarity when it comes to the next step. And that in itself is going to allow you to make a choice. But at the same time, you need to understand to stop over analyzing, because this is you will get a clarity that you desired, and now this is time to actually move forward. This in itself is going to be the time of desire, determination, and this is going to bring a strong willpower into your life, but also it's going to be connected to a very, very intelligent choice, you know, and this is to do with a will, resolution, and things like that. Very, very important time indeed. The third important date, my gorgeous Leonie, is going to be on the 31st of March. So the 31st of March is just basically you're going to feel a little bit angry about someone. Someone is just going to kind of pop back into your mind, someone who hurt you in the past, but your job is to release this and let this person go, because karmically this became a bit of a big mama, and big mama becomes a big challenge, and big challenge can slow you down if you don't pay attention to it. So it's not about what the person did, but it's about you releasing that anger out of you, out of your spiritual journey, and out of your energy, away from your aura. That is going to be evident on the 31st of March, and it's important because you are just going to release yourself from this. So someone is just going to be on your mind, and you're going to be like a little bit angry, but this is actually a really good sign, because that moment in time you will know who do you need to release and let go, because this is an integral part of your spiritual journey, and it's also part of your own development. I know it sounds crazy, but it is true indeed. On another hand, you know, you just basically the 31st of March, it's also kind of like this is the time of improvement. This is the day when you will be able to feel the improvement in your life when it comes to your own development, when it comes to your own promotion, because it's pretty much so probably the most powerful day when it comes to the actual outcome of the past efforts, when it comes to that new spiritual journey that I was talking about. You are most certainly going to need to be respond to the certain situation very sharply and very quickly, but then you are going to be very perceptive when it comes to the 31st of March, and by responding to the certain situation really quickly, you're actually going to become aware of the certain, like a bit of a tower before it happens. So you will know what you need to do on the 31st of March in order to prevent the tower. And the tower means like a negative situation which is just going to throw you out of balance, but you will know what this is, because you will not want to be part of this energy. You will not want to be part of this vibration, and this is most certainly all going to make sense, because it's going to require from you to make a certain change, and then that change is also gonna kind of like require you, not only you're going to become aware of like an unexpected situation, an unexpected dark little tower in your life that throws you out of balance, so you will be able to make an important edit. But before you do that, you just need to be true to yourself. You need to stay true to yourself, because this is going to be a powerful time of your own self-illumination. So it's all about you being truth with yourself, and this is going to put you in a mode of a self-denial. So you just need to understand you need to stay true to yourself. Very important. And that is going to be connected to the actual reflections on the past. Suddenly you're going to feel a very strong connection with the past, and then you will realize, oh my God, the answer is in the past. The answer is in the past. And the answer in the past, it's going to almost immediately bring a healing energy into your life, because you will become aware of the fact that, you know, by the end of the day, that excessive pressures and problems are soon to be resolved. So this is why this is so important, because at the same time, it's bringing the whole new goal into your life. Very important, my gorgeous Leonis, indeed. So now I'm just going to see what is going to happen briefly in the first part of March, mid-March, and the last part of March. The first part of March, you know, just understand that you have to most certainly, most simply follow your intuition, and do not kind of overanalyze situations in your life. This is important, because if you overanalyze, then it's only going to slow down the process. The mid part of March, it's like pretty much so there is going to be very sudden and unexpected changes happening, and all you need to do is review your options really carefully. If something doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. If something that doesn't make sense to you, move on, because you know your intuition is going to be talking to you a lot, and it's going to be warning you about something very specific mid-March 2022. The last part of March, it's like a basically also like a kind of like it's important to remember, you know what I said before, it's just like you're going to become aware of the very kind of unwise choice, and that unwise choice is going to be absolutely everything, because it's going to involve an important conversation that is going to confirm this to you. But through this conversation there is so much that you're going to find out, and you will know that you absolutely 1,000,000% did the right thing. It's amazing how people in your life are going to be playing a super important role throughout this month, and this is nothing unusual. It's only going to highlight the importance of people in your life that are sacred to you, and how important they are when it comes to our spiritual journey. So for those of you who are in relationship, my gorgeously honest, there is going to be a lot of emotional confusion because you have been working on something, but there is just so much that went on. There is just so much that happened, and not that long ago you and your partner were planning to do this, but these plans have kind of like been a little bit stuck in process because there's so many other things that happen and manifest that you have to pay attention to first. But don't lose hope, my gorgeously honest. Don't lose hope. Just focus and keep going one step at a time. This is so important. I know you have been like working on something so strongly, like, oh my God, for a while now as a couple, but there is so much that was going on, and there's other things that you need to kind of also like kind of deal with in order to kind of get this important aspect of your life. The couples, you will have a really big moment on the 27th of March indeed. The 27th of March is going to be a big moment for the couples, because then and there you will know exactly which adjustment in your life do you need to make, but that adjustment is going to be connected to the certain journey. If you don't make the certain journey as a couple, then this is just kind of going to be prolonged a little bit. So it's all about coming up with a plan, but also realizing that things are moving on. So just keep your head up and stay optimistic. Okay, so for those of you who are single and ready to stranger in the night, on in the morning, for those of you who are single and ready to mingy, you see, this is it. Like, you are pretty much so like kind of going to have a rather complex month, because maybe someone who you kind of like really fancied, you're going to realize that they're not who they are, and it's just going to leave a little bit of bitter taste in your mouth. Maybe like as we speak now, you're looking at someone and you're thinking, oh, he's delicious, she's delicious, blah blah blah, but then something is going to happen, and then you're going to be able to see the completely different side of this person, and you're not going to like it. It's not a mature enough person to you, and there is some kind of like a sign of immaturity going to be there. It doesn't matter how old they are, nothing to do with the age, but it's to do with their immaturity. You are so much more powerful than this person, and it's more about, so you're going to fancy someone, and you're already fancying someone, but there is going to be at around the 9th of March already. In fact, the 9th of March and the 19th of March, you will know like that person is not someone, and then you're going to feel something even more bitter about that person. But it's all about the actual integration with your spiritual journey that is at the same time going to take place. You are about to learn something so important about yourself, how unique you are, how beautiful you are, how powerful you are. Don't waste your energy like if you want to find a bit of like a stranger in the night. Don't waste your energy with people who are like kind of like so below you. I know this sounds horrible, but you need to find people who are like on the same level as you, who are smart, who are clever, who are important. This is an important lesson that you're going to learn, because it's going to highlight the fact how much you've actually changed through this person. Nothing negative, nothing horrible, nothing sad, but very important part of your life. It's going to actually take place here, because suddenly a few days after that moment in time, there is a very interesting idea that you are going to have, and that idea that you are going to have, it's going to put you on a certain path. Perhaps you will go somewhere for the first time, or you'll be thinking about a certain place maybe, or maybe you'll be thinking about going to the certain place on a different day. But with that idea, the new person is also going to come in. The new person is also going to come forward. forward. But just remember, one step at a time. But by having this idea, you will know that this idea is also going to be connected to someone sacred who is about to walk into your life indeed. Okay, my gorgeous Leonis, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.